That's right. It's a cheap imitation of the original Rocky theme. And welcome to this Daily Mojo Extra. We title it Coffee Wars today because, well, that's what it is. It's a war of the coffee titans. I don't know if I want to call them titans or not, but I will say that because coffee, hang on, I have an amazing stat here. The global coffee market valued at over $120 billion in 2021. So there's a lot of money in coffee, and everywhere you look, there's somebody new with their little, coffee stand popping up or their coffee brand, which is why things, I think, tend to get a little, I don't know how you say, competitive. And with that, we will bring in our very own member of the family, DM Dave Matthews from American Pride Roasters Coffee. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. Did you like the cheap impression of the Rocky theme song?
I was waiting for. Yeah, I heard it, but where was I? Was waiting for that.
You were waiting for what?
For you to start running up the stairs.
I did. I ran up the stairs before we even got in here. So, and I did 400 push-ups and chin-ups at the same time. Just to get training for this.
Wow.
All right. Wow. So I'm going to do, this is the first that I became aware of what was going on. I saw a tweet from Sarah at SDN Media Corp. It said, "Hey, Real Brad Staggs, want to address this from Kaboom. He's being a petty little bitch." And it was your tweet that said, I still can't believe we're on marketing. I've had beans that were literally in a plain brown bag with handwritten label that were awesome. And let's see, and also absolute crap, but in a beautiful package. I guess that's the libertarian world now, polishing turds and insulting others. What is going on? This is obviously a battle between, and I don't know if I want to call it a battle. There's obviously an altercation between you and, what is it, AP for Liberty? I can't even remember the name of them. AP for Liberty? Is that the name of the other coffee brand?
Austin Peterson.
Okay. All right. And so, all right. Well, how did this thing start? How did the rivalry start? The animosity? What's actually happening here?
I don't even know what to call it really either, because, I've probably followed him for 7 or 8 years, and he's followed me too, followed APR, interacted quite a few times over the years. When he was running for the Libertarian Party back in 2016, I really liked his politics. I thought he was a great guy. Right. Then all of a sudden, had to have been early July, I saw that he was expanding his brand and started selling coffee. And I had sent him a sampler pack. It had been a few months before that, but it was one of the founding flavors ones. And I had, the Washington and the Jefferson. And all of a sudden his coffee is called the founding flavors. And he's starting out with the Washington and the Jefferson. And then the latest one was the Thomas Paine. And that was kind of what did it for me. Stuff before, but he had ignored all of my tweets, and that's fine. But all of a sudden I see this next one and just keep everything off my page one, except in a lot slicker marketing campaign. So I decided to tweet out of the APR account and say, hey, this idea theft of you, or nearly a decade of you following me and looking at all my stuff, me sending you coffee, and suddenly you're using all of my name, but with just a new image.
Right. And we're looking at some of that right now. I can see the Betsy's Liberty Lullaby and the Jeffersonian Java, Franklin's Electric Elixir, and they're graphic. They're pretty graphics. He obviously had somebody do some pretty graphic stuff. But you feel that, and again, you sent him early on samples of your stuff and the names of your coffees and things like that. I mean, it was out there in the open anyway, right?
Yeah, there was nothing we were hiding. Interestingly enough, though, back in 2012 when we started doing all this stuff, I spent hours and hours and hours researching different names, different ideas, different things coffee related to make sure we weren't copying anyone else.
Right.
And this is what kind of rankled me is, okay, if I've got retard marketing, how come you didn't at least take a look and see if he never saw anything of mine, if he pretend like I never sent him the coffee, but yet he's using all the same names from, we're one state away and he calls me a market rival. Well, I researched every market rival in the entire country before I started this, when we had no customers. No one knew about us. It was just an idea.
Right.
So I don't buy any of this stuff. Maybe it's an honest mistake, but if it is, that means that it was just, hey, this is my idea now, and I'm just going to take it, and who cares what anyone else thinks.
Right, and just FYI, it looks like DM's camera has frozen up, but we can hear you fine, which is all that really matters. Just so you know. So, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Would this be? Is that what he's doing? Do you think it's outright theft? How do you? Has he been hostile toward you? What's the situation there?
Well. Yeah, suddenly the hostility showed up. It's the name calling, calling me a retard, saying what really, I don't care about stuff like that. But when you call our artwork kindergarten and stupid and anyone could do better, well, there's a reason why we use all this stuff. When I started all this, it was an idea. I didn't have a job. I started APR, I'm not kidding you, it was $300 and we were making coffee and selling it on
Right.
$300. And if anyone knows anything about coffee, you usually have $50,000 to $75,000 in materials before you even start roasting a bean.
Right.
So we did this completely differently and people helped us along the way. So that artwork, that's something that is important. I don't care if we sell 0 more bags forever or 1 billion more. That's always going to be on there. So when we started with the name calling and everything being on marketing, but nothing's on the coffee, that's also another thing that concerned me, because he won't tell anyone where his coffee is coming from. So is it a bunch of Sam's Club coffee repackaged and being sold for $2 an ounce? I don't know.
Yeah, you taught me the term ghost roast, which I'd never heard before. So
I'm not sure, but I might be the first person to actually use that. But it's the same as ghostwriting. Look at it.
Right.
We all know of some famous people that do a lot of ghostwriting for their books.
Right. But you just brought up a good point. We don't know if he's just if he's going to Kroger or Costco and buying up coffee and repackaging it. And putting it in, his bags with his slick artwork and reselling it. So he won't disclose where he's actually getting his coffee.
He has not disclosed that to anyone, and I challenged that. Several people on Twitter have challenged it. And for all I know, he could very well be using somebody locally. But even beyond that, with him taking this idea, I would have been open to having our coffee be packaged in this way and have it be, to put a little tiny tag on the bottom that's roasted by APR Coffee. And
Right.
you think about it, we have his initials in our name anyway. So this
Right.
it wouldn't be that big of a jump. And I guess after all these years of following him and him apparently, looking like a decent guy, I thought there would be some conversation, but it's just been, let's make fun of all of the terrible marketing. Well, okay, if we're going to do that, why don't it's the same as if you make fun of somebody's album cover. Well, it's what's on the album, not what it looks like. Because there are some terrible looking albums that sound terrific. It's that way with coffee. I have bought some coffee that had the slickest, coolest image, and you open the bag and you smell it and you realize, oh, great, I just wasted $10 on this garbage.
Yeah. And you've been roasting your own coffee, and you are upfront about that and where you source it from. And, when the market's gone up and down as far as your hard cost, you've been upfront about that. And it's always been excellent coffee as far as I'm concerned. And the influx of all of these newbies to the coffee market, what's that all about? Why did all of a sudden we get, everybody and their brother marketing coffee?
Well, I think a lot of it is, there's always been major national roasters, but some of them have figured out that you can set up a boutique image. And I'll take the credit on my own to pad my own ego, but it was something when, we started Doc's Coffee, having branded coffee. That was it was one of the first ones out there. And someone told me that if I could ever figure out how to do this and market it to other celebrities, I'd be rich. Well, that never happened, but that's somebody caught on to this. And so it's not just celebrities. There are some big name coffee companies that outsource their made to roast coffee to these major factories. And I'm sure they're using their recipe and the beans that are recommended, but you don't know that for sure. I mean, with me, every single bean is something that I have personally examined on its way into the bag that I package and into the box that I ship.
Right. And again, we don't know where and I put this out on the program earlier that, and I always want to, I forget his, Austin Peterson, he's welcome to come onto the show and present his side of the situation if he feels like it. But it's odd that he would seem to be shielding the source of his beans, which
that concerns me too. Yeah,
it just felt like a bell.
No, it earned it. It earned it.
Yeah. So that's the bottom line. Is we can't figure out why this guy is hostile. I mean, it seems like you put you were out there first trying to help out and present your stuff to him, and it seems to me, if nothing else, he heavily leaned upon your marketing ideas and just decided to spiff up the artwork a little bit to suit his tastes. And then, and then turned on you.
And that was kind of where, when I see the shiny artwork and mystery beans, and then you tag on the insults, and that's when I thought, you know what? Why don't we have some fun with this? I did those stupid little stick figure drawings for a few months after Doc died, just kind of as it actually made me feel better making fun of everything that was going on. So I thought, you know what, let's do that. If we're going to have the crappy marketing, let's make it as far out as we can and just hand draw stuff and just make a laugh out of the whole thing, plus send some money to Veterans Org and help them out and do some good out of this should never have happened. I mean, the bottom line is we shouldn't even be having this conversation.
But you know what they say, never let a crisis go to waste.
Exactly.
I mean, that was, who was it? Ron, I don't think not Ron, what's his name? Up in Chicago, Obama's dude.
Rahm Emanuel.
Rahm Emanuel. Yeah, I was thinking of Ron Klain, but that was, Biden's chief of staff. So yeah, I mean, it's a strange world in which we live right now. Things are definitely upside down. This is just another example of things being upside down. So maybe we could get I'm just going to toss the challenge thing out there. Maybe there's some way that everybody wins on this. I don't know. We can think about it. We'll let that roll around. Maybe somebody in the listening audience out there, the vast and wide worldwide listening audience, can come up with some sort of a challenge of sorts. But I don't know what that is.
I like that.
I'm not smart enough to know what it is. So, all right. So that's the heart of it, the long and short of it. That things just apparently got heated in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the coffee, and. I guess the time will tell what happens here. We would love to know where the beans come from. He has the hidden beans, so maybe he'd like to step forward and reveal his bean source, or maybe he wouldn't. Yeah. And so time will tell.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. In the interim, we got the Austin Peterson called me a retard coffee up for sale. Half goes to Wagons for Warriors. So at least we're making something good out of it.
See, that's great. Let's see. I had that up here just a second ago. Hang on a second. I'm going to find it again. And it is right there. It's right there on the homepage. Hang on a second. I'll get this. There's only, when Ron's not here, I have to push all my own damn buttons, and it's really a pain in the tuchus. All right, there we have the Austin Peterson called me a retard blend, $9, limited edition. And how much goes to whom?
Half of it goes to wagonsforwarriors.com. It's a charitable organization that does chuck wagons for veterans down in Missouri. So it's also in Austin's home state. I know the guy that's involved with it, so I know it's a good charity. And I'm hand drawing all these things, which I never realized that crappy art was so difficult. So I'm doing, everybody's going to get something a little bit different. Somebody might get some funky images, and they may look even more terrible, but it's all going to be unique.
That's a bumper sticker right there. I didn't know crappy art was so difficult. It is. Try to be bad at something, and it's difficult to do. All right, buddy. Well, I think we've put it out there. We'll see if we get any sort of a bite on the other end of the hook, and we'll find out what kind of beans this guy is really made of, and whether or not he is worthy of the coffee industry. I'll leave anything out. You got anything else?
No, you hit all of it. We just want to find out what's in the bag.
Right. Show us your beans, and no one gets hurt. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Coffee Wars right here on the Daily Mojo Extra. And if you have a suggestion, of course, drop us a line. Let us know. Let's find out where the beans are, what's in the bag. Again, I am Brad Staggs, and this is a cheap Rocky impression.